is looking for the raised trombone. I tell the mass bands to turn. Counter march. So from the very familiar to the brand new, this is the Platinum Jubilee March, written by Sergeant Shelton. This is the birthday gift to Her Majesty. And by the way, worth noting on parade today, the first female Director of Music in the Household Division, Major Lauren Tripwatts of the Welsh Guards. The lone drummer, breaking away, Lance Sergeant Lewis Hamilton from Northern Ireland, on the corps of drums, marching to a position to the right of the escort, and that's ready for the next phase of the parade.
The Queen who said she had to be seen to be believed. Well, here she is.
Crowd is slowly realising who it is that's emerged on the balcony, because it takes a few seconds to sink in sometimes. The Duke of Kent is there, of course, as well, accompanying the Queen, as he does very often. He's Colonel of the Scots. They'll go slightly mad, but they're probably slightly distracted as well by the sight of the guards going past. So, Katie, what did you make of this as the opening event?
Well, it just doesn't get any better. I mean, there's a reason why millions, Hugh, are turning in to BBC to watch this, because no one else, frankly, does pomp and pageantry like our armed forces. And as the head of the armed forces, this is an important moment for the Queen. This ceremony was 260 years old. Trooping the Colour is marked the official birthday of the British sovereign for that many years. It's a very special occasion, and I don't think we will ever see a pageant Trooping of the Colour ever again. So this is a moment to remember.
So the Household Cavalry returning, and Her Majesty, as ever, having a very, very close look. This is the inspection of the returning troops. Duke of Kent, once again to inspect them as they march past. Bands first, and then the guards who took part in the birthday parade itself, led of course by the Irish Guards. We'll be seeing a lot of this setup, Katie, in the next few days, won't we? Because we have that concert on Saturday, we have other events as well. Today, by the way, the Royal British Legion arranged tickets for lots of people, deserving members of the public, to come along and sit in these stands, which are not normally there, of course. So they've had a great vantage point for this last hour of the parade, and they'll get a bird's eye view of the flight past.
Well, they will, and it's wonderful that there's seating there, and you're going to see the mall fill up in the most spectacular way. And obviously, this is the central focal point of these Platinum Jubilee celebrations. I think it's also worth pointing out it's the first time we've seen the Queen at Buckingham Palace for a couple of years now, since before the COVID pandemic. So very special to see her back at Monarchy HQ, Buckingham Palace, resplendent in this wonderful spring sunshine. Thank goodness the sun is shining.
I have to say, Jamie, I am fascinated. There's a long conversation going on between the Queen and the Duke of Kent. They're obviously comparing notes, pointing to this section of the Guards and that section, and I'd love to know what they're saying.
So would I, and I think the Guardsmen, if they see the pointing going on, will be sixes and sevens, whether they'll be pleased they're being pointed at or not.
Prince of Wales leading the royal party back into Buckingham Palace, through the archway, into the central section of Buckingham Palace, before they reappear upstairs on that balcony in a short while. Now this is the moment you were talking about earlier, Jamie, and applying it again to the foot guards, that moment of eye contact, although it's more distant today than it would be on the parade ground, but it's still there.
You know, it's more distant, but in a way, it's unique, and the Guardsmen will be thinking that. They'll be seeing they're wearing her St. Patrick's blue, which is so apt and brilliant of it and all that.
Followed now by the non-royal colonels, saluting as well. Saluting Her Majesty. Duke of Kent, who would normally ride in the carriage. We have seen him with the Queen, certainly since the late Duke of Edinburgh stopped attending public events some years before his death. So the Duke of Kent is a very prominent participator in these great state events. We have a very visible sign of the changing of the guard in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. Her Majesty has returned inside, but we will see her again, fear not. And maybe a good moment, Jamie, as we see the changing of the guard, just to explain very quickly that the escort has some work to do.
It does. It hasn't finished yet for the escort. They now go on to Queen's Guard, as it's called, at Buckingham Palace and at St James's Palace, taking over from the old guard, which was drawn from the Coldstream Guards, as you can see. They've got a few more hours